Hello, one and all. Oh, the camera angle's all wrong. Why has that happened? Okay, you're just going to have to put up with some dead space down here because I don't think I can fix that right now. Put my chair down a bit, I suppose that would help. Am I even on? Yes, I am. Welcome, one and all, to the Friday night live stream. We've kind of renamed this a series of unfortunate events because that's kind of my thing. I think that's my USP. But this is Fishy Business. We do talk about fishy stuff every now and again on the channel, so welcome one and all to the Friday night. This is week 10 of Weird Beers. We may have to call time on Weird Beers, because I'm just not liking them. Tonight may be different. I fear I may have... It's either going to be a really fun stream, or it's going to be a complete car crash, because I have accidentally purchased my beers this week based on, well, not based on anything, but I've accidentally purchased them, and they're the strongest beers we've had through the entire series. So the least alcoholic one is this. We have the Siren Thought Bubble Juicy IPA, which says things like, imagine a hazy and crushable IPA, crushable IPA, perfect for any occasion. Hops are layered throughout the brewing process, with Idaho 7, Simcoe, Citra and Laurel working in tandem to produce vibrant tropical aromas and juicy fruit flavours. It's beautifully soft and moreish to drink. What more could you want from a drink? So at 6% we've got this one. I think we might have to start with this one, otherwise things will go downhill quickly. Then the next, at 7.2%, we have... We challenge you to a hop-off, a mountain IPA. I'm not going to lie, I bought that because it said mountain IPA, and I thought, what the hell is a mountain IPA? And it's a collaboration between salt and wild beer. It's inspired by the classic West Coast bitterness and East Coast juiciness. So, juicy, and then we've just gone off-piste completely. Duvel. Oh, what have we done here? Belgian Strong Blonde. So is that right in the name? I don't know why I didn't see that straight away. I just went with, I thought, blonde, they were quite nice. Let's round it off with things I like. 8%. No, not even 8%, 8.5%. So that's definitely going to finish me off. And finally, I just thought that said the chuff, which appealed to my sense of humour. So we went with that, which is also 8%. So we've got 8.5, 8, 7.2, 6. I doubt I'll make it through in the whole 2 hours. But let's give it a go, shall we? For anyone listening, if this is your first time here, this is an Aquarium channel. Feel free to ask me any fishy questions. Not saying I'm going to know the answers to any of them, but just keep it vaguely on topic. But we're going to start off with the Thought Bubble Juicy IPA from Siren. And see how we go. Oh no, I should be pouring them like that, shouldn't I? This was what we learned in the previous weeks. None of this pouring them normally business. Get it on there with a nice big head. And then you have that. You let that settle, and it does all its turmoil in the glass and not in your tummy. I'm not sure how true it is, but last week it seemed to work pretty well. I was not farting like a trooper. But I should have actually checked to see whether or not anyone can see me. Loud and clear. Thank you, Kaylee. That's what we need. Let me just put the chat up. Put that in there. Click that and say hello. So I'm not going all the way back because it's cut me off when I started the stream. But we'll start with Silver Creek. Hello there. I saw your... Well, I didn't see it all. I saw your 5-minute live stream that seemed to go on for an hour and a half. I only dropped in. Simon, second again. Also saying, for your information, can't drink alcohol as I've had a fall and I've not had a drink at all yet. Subsequently injured my hand. I should be going to A&E, but would rather not on a Friday night. I know what you mean. I too have had a fall. I don't know if you can see that up there on me cupping and me ear. It's... Yeah, I've now reached an age where I'm a fall risk. That's nice. Didn't know that was going to happen. Not bad. Juicy IPA. Mildly hoppy. But no sour aftertaste. So far so good. But yes, on Monday, I think it was, might have been Tuesday, I dropped the kids off at school, came home. We have, where my driveway is, there's steps which are slabs up the side of the house to the back door, and that's normally the way that I'll come in. And it had been raining, and I said this to the people that I work with, and I energetically jumped up a step. Rather than trudging, I just kind of went for a bit of a hop, and the walls here, and these are the steps going up. I landed on one foot, it just went whoosh, completely away from me. Bloody algae. As a fish keeper, I should have known. But I landed on some algae and the feet just went straight out from under me. And because the wall was here, I tried to put my hand down, but missed. I put my hand down to break my fall from falling on the ground, but then proper battered my head off the side of the wall, and it's like a brick old stone wall, so it's got jaggy bits and everything, so I put a proper dent in my head. Blood everywhere. It was quite the scene. I should have taken more pictures. Proper, whoa, what the hell, pissing blood everywhere. By the end of the evening, big lump on my head. Did not feel good. Did not feel good for most of the week. I couldn't see properly out of this eye for a while as well, so I thought something was going on there, whether I'd done something to the eye, but I think it was just bruising where it had gone away. I don't really bruise, but you can see a little bit of a bruise, but that's mostly just dried blood and grazing there. But I gave it a good old Glasgow kiss, and no, I did not feel well for most of the week. So falls are not to be messed with. I can understand not wanting to go to A&E on a Friday night, but I didn't. That was not fun. What was least fun is realising I'm now at that age where I'm a fall risk. I didn't think that would come for a long time yet. NJW, hi from Doncaster, hi from Sheffield. Zenzen, howdy y'all. I don't know why I say it like that. Sorry, I mean no offence. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Hi from Sweden, says Hans. Ross from a Baltic Edinburgh. It's Baltic here as well. I've literally just got in from my local village fireworks display and bonfire night. They're having it on the 4th of November this year for some reason. But yeah, bloody cold out there tonight, which is why you might see covered in ash and stuff, because 5 minutes ago walked in the door. So it's pretty Baltic here in Sheffield too, but I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit more Baltic up in Edinburgh. Evening, Freshwater Theology. Kaylee's in. Mickey's here. Good evening, Mickey. Martin, Mark, GB, loud and clear. Dan the Fish Nerd says evening. How you doing? Lanks Fish Keeper. Siren Beers is local to where I used to live. Is it indeed? Where is it from? Doesn't say. It says it's vegan friendly though. There you go. I can be saving the world. Vegan friendly. What wouldn't be vegan in beer? I don't know. Lee's in. David's here. Scott's in. If you haven't already, please hit that like. Thank you very much, Scott. Texas is in the house. Weekends are the worst time for A&E. Yeah. Ideally aim for midweek around 4 to 6 a.m. That's probably the way to go, yes. Has the bump knocked any sense into you? Very little. I think it's actually knocked any sense I did have back out of me. I probably shouldn't be drinking, thinking about it. But yeah, I felt like crap all week. Today was the first day I felt alright. So, I deserve it. Ned's Fish Tips. You had to say that carefully. Silver Creek Aquarist. What was the name of the website you said I should check out to help me reach my goal? I was just on Fish Fam, but my channel name wasn't there. I don't know. Oh, Silver Creek Aquarist. You're not asking me, sorry. Siren Beers is Wokingham, Reading, Bracknell, not an area you'd go on holiday. Sunny Wokingham, Reading, that's where the office was set, isn't it? So, my big news, I don't know what all you lot are up to. Oh, how many have we got? 45 of you here at the moment, and only 17 likes, come on. Remember, you can join us on Discord. Make it flash now. Look at that, yay. And you can subscribe over there by clicking subscribe. It's not over there, it's probably down there. But you can do all these things. My big news, I bought a new tank. Yay. I've bought a new display tank. I've given up with trying to reseal my discus display tank and just bought a new one. I think it's for the best. I think it's for the best because I've got it there so many times, been almost there, and something else has gone wrong in a different area. So I've just said, I'm saying this if it's my decision. The wife has now said, give up, you admit defeat, get a new one. So I have done that. I reached out. The reason I was mentioning Discord, because I reached out in Discord and said, right, any suggestions for where should I buy a fish tank? More looking for like a good experience and good service and all that kind of stuff. So I've ended up going with, I've now immediately forgotten who I've ended up going with. Bear with me. They sent me an email earlier today. Ornamental Aquaculture, or Ornamental is the OA group, so Ornamental Aquatics. I think it was one of you lot, you might even be in the stream, that advised, said, I got my discus tank from these guys, it was really good, very happy with it, so I've gone with that. I did, I wonder if I'm allowed to tell you this. I don't know. I did put that cheeky line in, which made me feel dirty, and I hated doing it, saying, I make YouTube videos, is there any chance I could get a bit of a discount? And they have offered me a discount, so I was very happy with that. So it's a very good price. I'm obviously going to be making loads of videos about this tank. I'll be mentioning who made it for me, and I'm hoping it's not just like I'm an influencer, kind of give me money, grabbing it stuff. I'm hoping it's going to be a good partnership, and it will be a good quality tank, and lots of people will see it, and lots of people will go, that's a cool tank, where did you get that from? And I can say Ornamental Aquatics. They might, if you're watching, they might even do like a discount code for anyone that buys through my link or something like that. Who knows? But I'm hoping it's more. I'm hoping they're not giving me something that it's a fair trade, so they get more exposure for. They always say like it's niche advertising. If you buy Google ads or Facebook ads or whatever, you can target your market to a certain degree, but if you find someone who makes YouTube videos about fish tanks and they feature your fish tanks, that's a very dialed in, targeted market, so you should do well out of that. So I'm hoping it all works out, and it is a good tank, and they get some business out of it, and I get a discount, and it's fair and it's even, and I've not robbed anyone or anything like that, because it does make me feel I hate doing it. I really need a manager that can go out and do these things and working out deals, because I get people contacting me all the time saying, would you do this or that, or try this product? And I'm always happy to say, yeah, I will try your product, but I'm not going to. I'll cover your talking points about the product, but I'm not your salesman. I'm here to review it. If you want to sponsor a video and say, this video is sponsored by Fluval 207 filters, they're fantastic, that's fine, but that's going to cost you. And I don't feel good at that kind of negotiation yet. I'm more happy and comfortable with can we send you a filter and you review it? Yes. Can you say it's brilliant? No. That's why I don't do all that many reviews, because a lot, and I mean a lot, pull out as soon as I refuse to agree to say whatever they want me to say. Happy to cover the talking points, happy to cover if there's a load of unique features and things like that, I'm happy to cover all them. But if at the end of the day, if I say it's trash, I'm going to say it's trash, or pull out the video. That's another option. So we've done some stuff like that, but this it's obviously an expensive tank, so I've got a decent discount off it. So I'm just going to cross my fingers it's going to be really good. I reached out to a few companies, and to be fair, all of them got back to me. I missed a couple of them through bloody spam filters, and I didn't think to check in there. But these were the only ones that offered me... No, that's not true. These were the only ones that offered me a big discount. A few of them did offer me a discount, and that was very much appreciated. But like I say, it made me feel dirty. But one particular company, after I'd already agreed with Ornamental Aquatics and paid, phoned me up or said, "Oh, please get in touch with us." And they had sent me a quote without offering a discount, and the quote was even higher than the original before the discount. So anyway, I kind of went, "Oh, that's fine. I don't expect anyone to give me a discount, but I've clearly got someone giving me it for a hell of a lot cheaper over here, so I'll probably go that way, blah, blah, blah." And then I found some messages in the bloody spam folder saying, "But we'd happily work with you in a collaboration. Please give us a call, give us a call, give us a call." I finally spoke to the guy today, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll give you a tank for free." I was like, "What? Yeah, if you cover delivery, we'll send you a tank." I was like, "No, I've already paid for this other one." And I can't back out of the deal with the other lot, because that's just not fair. I've gone into it with good faith. It would be immoral to back out of the deal with them. So we're trying to figure out something else to do with this other company, whether they can do some tanks for the... And I'm not after freebies. That wasn't me saying I want a free tank. Was there any chance possibly of a little bit of a discount? They offered me the free tank. So I'm trying to work with them now to say maybe I can get some new tanks for the fish room that can fully maximise the use of the space on the racking or something like that. I did ask if I could go down and film their process and film the factory, because I thought that'd be really interesting. You kind of have this idea of how a fish tank place works. I certainly have a bit of an idea, but I don't know how true or accurate it is. I thought, oh, that'd be good. Could I come down and film the process of you like making the glass, cutting the glass, putting the tanks together, how you polish the edges, what goes on to make a tank? And he's a bit like, nah, I'll send you a tank for free. Well, okay. Different. So I don't know how that'll work out, but that's been my big thing that I've been doing today, or this week at least, trying to sort that out. So hopefully, they said the lead time is kind of 3-4 weeks sort of area, but it depends what other jobs are on. It might be a little bit faster, it might be a little bit slower. Hopefully before Christmas, that's what I'm aiming for, that we'll get a nice brand new tank. I've bought one with the exact dimensions so as I can reuse the stand, the cabinet tray, everything, the sump. I've asked for the holes in the same places, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that'll all work out properly, and we can get on with that. So that's my big news. What's your big news? Let me know in the comments. Well, I read some more of your comments. Drinking sterilises the wound. No, I think pouring it on my head would sterilise the wound. That's very nice. That's definitely getting a good review. I'm hoping at the end of this, maybe I'll do it on my second channel. I'll publish a beer review. Well, I'll publish the spreadsheet that I've been keeping, so you can see which ones. If you're like me, you just like your normal lager. If you like a Heineken, a Stella, a Carling, whatever, which ones you can, if you do find yourself with a load of Ponzies and you have to drink a craft beer, you know which one to go for. Not that you're Ponzies, all you people who enjoy craft beer, you know what I mean. Dig. They use fish guts to filter some beers. I did not know that. Enjoying a few Corona beers myself while watching your show. Keep up the good work, says Plot24C. Thank you. I will try my best. Coldwater Aquatics is in the house. How you doing? I think you can officially declare yourself a disaster. Oh, you're not wrong. Yeah. Surf City Cichlids, or Chicklids, sorry. Happy Friday, Aquarium Adventures. First time catching your stream. Found you on the Fish Fam link. Southern California in the house. California. Is that SoCal? Is that what we say for Southern California? Welcome. How you doing? I think, Ned, that's probably what you're after, the Fish Fam link. I don't know what that means or how you get on it. But there you go, it works. Surf City Chicklids has found me through it. 18. What does that mean? I don't know. Oh no, it's all over the place. Oh, miles behind again. God, I need to find the happy medium between reading and responding and interacting with the chat and going off on a tangent, because I go off on tangents, then I'm miles behind. What would you prefer? Let me know, and in about 40 minutes I'll get to it and we'll do that. What's I keep them coming? I don't know. If anyone is wanting to buy a new tank, then Waterbox Aquariums have 25% off. Well, see, information I could have used last week, Simon. I only got a 20% discount. Pardon me. Ornamental Aquatic seems really nice. Whew. I think he's friends with quite a lot of people in the catfish study group. He also gets wild discus. Oh, I did see Ornamental Aquatics. So there's like Ornamental Aquatics, which is like the pet shop side of things, where they buy and sell fish and stuff like that. And then I think I had to go to Ornamental Aquaculture for the tank, but it's all part of the same group. But yes, I've been very impressed with the communication. None of this, you must phone me now. As you know, that's my pet hate. So, gave me the quote. Happy to discuss things through email. Clarified things that they didn't understand because of the way I'd explained it. And double checked on the. So, if you want the holes here, are you sure you want that? Or why you want them there and not over here? Or don't you want a weir or whatever? So, really good communication. Understood the requests. Clarified what needed to be clarified. Yeah, and good, quick, fast responses to everything. So I'm happy so far. The fact that you're saying they're good people, even better. That makes me feel a little bit better. And again, that's why I don't want to pull out, because that's a really crappy move when you've already made an agreement. Would they do a discount code on fish? That might be my next question. If they do, I'll cut you in. We'll go half-hours on some wild discus. How about that? I got mine from OA Aquaria. Lovely tank and hood and cabinet. One thing I will say is I go for the metal frame support option for the cabinet. Well, I'm not getting the cabinet. I'm just getting the tank. So I'm reusing my steel. I've already got a steel stand. I've already got the sump, I've already got all the pipe work, the overflows, the returns, the cabinet tray all around. So I'm literally just saying I want one this exact size so as I can reuse everything else. Steiner's in. Steiner has reminded me to, what have I been reminded to plug the Discord server. Bing. So my plan is for next week's so clip this. That's me trying to remember to clip this so as I can make a TikTok or a YouTube shorts out of this. My plan is to next week's live stream to have God, it's not going to work because I'm babbling. Right, I'll try and say it first and then I'll do it as a clip. My plan is next week to have like a tier list battle with all the pictures that you guys submit to my Discord channel for the calendar. So the calendar, if you don't know, I'm planning on releasing another calendar like what we did last year. Last year was all my pictures of my fish. Now I want your pictures of your fish. We'll put them together into a calendar with the help of Phil at Elite Logos. We'll take that calendar, we'll sell it to anyone that wants to buy it, but take all the proceeds and put them to a charity. So there's a Discord chat. Speak words, Graham. Come on, you can do it. There's a Discord channel. That's what I'm trying to say. See if I can find it. Little face. So our Discord channel, this is the Discord server. If you've never seen a Discord server, it's like this. If you go over here, up and down, you can scroll through the various different channels. If you haven't joined, just join and jump into this one, say introductions and say, hello, my name's whatever your name is, and I like this stuff. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find one called Calendar Pics, and I invite you to submit your best pictures of your favourite fish or whatever it might be. We will curate them through the medium of tier lists, you know, when you like bracket fights and things like that. Say this one against this one, this one against this one. I might take a few through, just the ones that I really like, but we'll choose them all together. So we've got the rest of the week. We'll do this time next week and go through them all online, live, during the show. The show. I keep saying, oh yeah, the podcast, the show, as if I'm on telly. During the live stream. And we'll choose the pictures, so we probably want at least 13, if not a couple of extras for front and back cover and all that kind of stuff. Put them into into a calendar, sell the calendar, proceeds to charity. I have already decided that we are going to do this. So Lily has suggested Martin House Children's Hospice in Boston Spa. My daughter uses it. Wonderful place. If for no other reason than Lily gave me some fish. I've done a quick Google and can find nothing objectionable about Martin House Children's Hospice. So that's going to be the charity. I don't know, maybe we'll say if we raise loads and loads of money, we might pick another charity, but I think we'll go with that as well. I mean, as well as that and split it if we get loads of money, but I'm happy to say that we'll choose that as the charity. And then pick your pictures and you'll have a lovely calendar, and I will then be imploring you to buy it for the next few weeks as well. I like this picture, it's a good one. So this is the kind of thing I'm after. I'm after something that doesn't need too much work, is a good, impactful, bright, in your face, no guessing what it is. I don't want to critique all the pictures, but I mean, I'm going to contradict myself now. I quite like that picture. That's lovely. I less like that one because there's just too much going on there for it to be focused in on something cool. But if this, I mean, this is a lovely aquascape. I think if you just maybe moved the angle to the side, turned off the room lights, turned on the tank lights, taken it a little bit out so you could see the whole tank as well, that would be a little bit more dramatic of a picture. Let's see if I can find something that talks about what I'm talking about. I think close-ups of fish, that's quite a good one because it shows the overall, so it's not just a section of something where you're wondering what the hell's going on in the rest of it. That's one, it's a lovely tank and it's quite a good picture. I would try again and darken everything else, so get every other light off so you can only see this. And I can fix some of this in editing, so don't get too carried away. That's a great picture. Mr. Grumpy. Again, I might dick around with the contrast and things like that to make it pop a little bit more, but I think that's a really good one. Yeah, I don't want to give you instructions because it's not about, oh, I want these pictures. I want the pictures you want to take of your fish, and these are just some ideas about the best way to take pictures of fish, or the best ways to take pictures in general, and how to frame subjects and all that kind of stuff. So like this one, I like, that's why Steiner, seeing his name there, I'm assuming their name there, kind of underneath looking up is always a good angle for fish. And it's got discus in it. I mean, let's be honest, if it's got discus in it, I'll probably at least consider it. So there's loads of pictures in here, so don't be afraid to submit yours. That's a good one as well. The worst that will happen is it might not get included in the calendar, but there's already far too many to get included in the calendar, so just get more and more in there. Lots of interesting pictures, lots of interesting fish. I had a bit of another idea about... we'll maybe cover that next week. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Join the Discord, if for nothing else, just to get in here and submit your calendar pics. But there's loads of channels in here. If you've got any, just want to share pictures of your fish tanks, there's aquarium pictures channels. There's pond, plant, equipment, health and medicine, buy, sell, swap, plant trimmings, all that kind of stuff. There's loads of different things to have a look around in. You can suggest what beers you want me to drink. Like Tits McGee, who's not here, showing off the weird beers that he's drinking. Oh, and that scared me a little bit earlier. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If you're into this kind of thing, get involved. As I finish off my actually quite delicious beer. Right. Next most 7.2%. We're going to go with the We Challenge You to a Hop Off. Oh, straight away. Got a lot of hops. It's not quite as bad. As soon as I must have went right up my nose because all I could smell was hops. Yeah, another similar colour to the previous one. Not that you can see that. I am loving this way of pouring beer. There's no embarrassment of just being a terrible bartender. You're doing it on purpose. It's the future, people. It's the future. And then we'll let that settle down for a minute. Yeah, no, that's not offensive at all. Still got that definite hoppy smell, but it's not as bad as some of the ones. Oh look, a fishy question. Any tips for keeping coolie loaches? I bought 3 yesterday. They are the cutest things. I put them in a 4-foot with the angels, but they don't seem to care. I'm going to grab 6 odd PVC pipes and stack them. Yeah, with coolie loaches, for me, the more the merrier, and especially if it's in a 4-foot tank, they're just going to get lost. So yeah, get as many as you can get. I think they look better in a bigger group. Personally, I think they behave better in a bigger group or smaller tank. But even in fact, that tank there, was it that one? No, but a similar size tank to that. That's what, 2 foot, something like that. I think I had something like 8 in a tank that size, and still didn't really see them all that often. And just a few more. I think I took another 4 in or something like that, and they were out all the time. In the evening or when it was dusk. Because I had one of those sunlight lights on it, and they just adding a few more made the biggest bit of difference. They tend, in my experience, to come out more when the lights are a bit lower, so if you've just got on or off, they'll be out more when they're off. But yeah, I agree wholeheartedly that they are the cutest little things. They're cool little, just to watch them as well. There you go. Anything I say, if freshwater ichthyology says anything nearly similar, or completely different, go with what she says. Get a large group and you'll see them. Yeah, so yay, I got it right. That's like a wee tick on my scorecard. I saw mine all the time. Sandy substrates, as they love to rummage through it. Yes, I've only ever kept them in sandy, so I don't know what they would be like on other ones, but they do like a good rummage. They're really good at, I mean, I wouldn't advise buying them as clean-up crew, but they were a really good clean-up crew in that they'd get in and finish off anything that got stuck away. I doubt I'll be sponsored after bashing an aquarium light, but get this, I got reached out to by Aqua, the maker of the light, which is Higger, and they wanted to send me the same one. I told them no way. Oh no, you should have taken it, and then at least said, right, if it happens to 2, this is the one they sent me. Boycott. Pardon me. OA Aquaria in Kidderminster. I think so. Tamara Lee, hello. How are you doing? Sean Morris, yes, he sells Asian discus. Yes, so there you go, Kidderminster. Hello from Canada. Hello there. I would just see that situation as a buy one, get one free. Take both, and then 2 future projects for... Oh, it's just the free tank, yes. Well, that's why the other one I'm thinking of getting for my fish room tanks at the moment. If you imagine my fish room racking system, I've got 4 shelves of tanks at the moment, and they're all 6 foot by 2 foot. Only maybe 1.5 of those racks is actually fully utilized. Easy for me to say. Only one of those racks, that was quite painful, is fully utilising that space, that footprint. So often the tanks won't quite extend all the way, or not all the way to the back. So I was thinking of just getting like a couple of 6 foot by 2 foot tanks, quite low, so as I can just have big tanks on the racks rather than have lots of little individual tanks. So maybe at least one of them, so I can just have one big tank. Oh, that reminds me of some other news. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. If they're offering to send me a free tank, I'm going to take it. Hey mate, how's the discus tank going? Says Marios Christou. That's what we're talking about. I've just been offered... Well, I've just bought a brand new one because it's not going well. My biggest news today is that I got my second microphone in to try out, and lo and behold, it didn't work either. So I'm off the wireless mic train and onto the plug-in version. Plug-in all the way. I mean, wireless is great, but it will let you down. Unless it's like I've found gaming stuff to be really good. Or proper office stuff. By proper office stuff, I mean things like Jabra headsets, Plantronics headsets, things that are designed to work with Teams or Zoom or whatever it might be. They tend to not look the part, but they work, but they're not cheap. Well, the good ones aren't cheap anyway, especially the wireless ones. But gaming headsets, they seem to be that middle ground of they do the job and they're not hugely expensive. You can get hugely expensive ones, but they do the job. But yeah, join our Discord, Silver Creek. If you're a YouTuber, you have a special role. Is that what they're called? So if you're a YouTuber, make yourself known as a YouTuber to one of our admins or mods, and we'll add you to the YouTuber channel. And then the YouTuber channel has things like this. It's now going to be wholly underwhelming when I show you it. So YouTubers get to see this, if you can see that. So there's just for general discussion about YouTube type stuff. Tech and tools. You can talk about any of the equipment that you're using. So for instance, that was the time that I bought this that I'm using. Very much recommend. The amount of comments I've got about my dulcet tones and how I'm now part of all these ASMR channels. Not the cheapest, but not most expensive, but it does the job well. This thing has been a lifesaver. The amount of software versions that I've gone through to then just get this, plugged it in, and everything just worked from that point on. But yeah, you can join here. You can talk about any questions. I've probably come across the problem before. If not, someone else will have, and we can talk about all things YouTube. Big face. Oh God. Every time I say "oh God," it's because my chat refreshes and I lose my place. So I apologise. Mark says, do you see the link I put on Discord about Stinker Discus USA? I think I did. Is that because it's, I want to say something Chitchlids? Super Cichlids, was it? Yeah, they were also friends with Michael's Fish Room. Yeah, I think they've bought up the Stinker stock and playbook. Stinker Discus, if you don't know, are a big discus. It's kicking in already. Are a big discus supplier, traditionally from Germany. The Stinker name. You can read all about them. They've been doing it for years and years and years and years and years, and have packed up and they seem to have, well, and they even invited me. They invited a load of people to come over and see their operation with a view to buying their operation, and it seems that Super Cichlids has done that. So, I mean, it's good that it's kept going, because Stinker Discos were always filling a little bit of a void. As much as you want to argue about, well, were they as good as they said they were they as hardy as they said they were something different. They were different to the Asian discus, to the wild discus. Whether you think that's a good or bad thing is immaterial. They were just a different thing. So that different thing is going to keep going for a little bit longer, hopefully. Pardon me. I've got COVID. Oh dear. I thought I had COVID the other week, but all my tests came back negative. I've also had a load of PhD, admin, work, drama, and processing CT scans of Ancestris. Oh dear. Fish swim bladders, from my understanding, are used to filter clear beers and wines that aren't vegan. Ah, right, so is that the fish guts? God, that's how far back I am. Okay. Did the mod remove my comment? I don't think so. I didn't notice one. I'm just very slow, Ned. It could be that. Because I won't self... You can self-promote if you want. I mean, to a degree. Anyone here, right, this is your chance. If you run a YouTube channel, stick it in the chat. Say, I run a YouTube channel. Come and look at my stuff. It's fine. I've even got on Discord, I'm not trying to plug it this much, but on Discord, I've got a promotions channel, so you can go and stick in any links you want to your Instagram, to your YouTube, to your whatever. Doesn't have to be fishy, doesn't have to be anything. I'm not that precious. I mean, I'd love it if everyone would just come and watch all my videos, but share the wealth. That's my bag. Dare I ask how Megatank is doing? You dare, David. You may dare. Let me take a big swig before we get into this. I think I found the leak. Yes, I know I've said this several times now, so, take that with a pinch of salt, but I think I found the leak. I've been in, I have emptied it again, as we all saw, stripped it back, stripped all the sand out, been concentrating my investigations in the area that it's come from. So when you look at the tank from outside, from underneath, from behind, there's no staining, there's no watermarks that say something else is getting wet, and it's just finding the easiest path to come out at that particular corner. I let it leak for a good few weeks, hoping that it would show me the trail and lead back to where it's come from. Nothing. So it's completely dry everywhere except for this one corner, which means it's coming from that one corner. So I focused all my attention in that corner. I'm going to strip back all the sand and everything, got it out. I found a gash, a big cut that I'd obviously missed. I'd either caused the last time I tried to fix a leak when I was in there, or originally with the glass when I was moving the glass around. But either way, I found this big gash. I thought, there you go. That's it. That must be it. Fixed it. Was ready to fill it again. Thinking, how clever am I? This is it. It's definitely it. And I just happened to go across, and I thought, I'll just check out this corner seam again. And I just pushed my two thumbs right into the bottom of the corner, and it just went, spurted out back at me. So a load of water had got behind there, and it was spurting out through a hole in the seam. So clearly that's the actual problem. So this big gash, not a problem at all, because the big gash I can get that. It's not going anywhere. But a problem in the seam in the corner, if there's a little pinhole, I don't know how the pinhole got there, but there is a pinhole that if I pressed hard, water squirted back out at me. So I've cut all that out, stripped it all back. I've left it for a few days to dry, so I'm hoping that by tomorrow it'll all be dry enough for me to just start patch repair and that. So I've bought a load of butyl liner patch repair kit. I don't know whether I need to use that or not, or whether I just need to go back in and put in the tape and liquid rubber it up again and get that bit sorted. It's 100% not the glass. It's not leaking out through the glass. All the silicone seams are good from the glass. It's 100% not coming from anywhere else in the tank and just rooting its way out there. It's 100% this little pinprick hole that I found. So I just need to reinforce that corner. So I'm thinking of putting the butyl liner patch tape right into that seam, into that corner, covering it all up and patching it properly, and then letting it dry and cure appropriately and all those good things. We should be good to go. Touch wood. So I'm hopeful that before Christmas we'll have fish in Mega Tank. Do you have any tips on getting rid of blackbeard algae? I use a syringe with Flourish. I use a syringe with Flourish XL, but it won't go away. That is one of my tips to get rid of it. If it won't go away, but my other tip is get yourself some hydrogen peroxide. This is not hydrogen peroxide. I don't know why I grabbed it, but it's made by the same people, Loose Mill. I don't actually have it, but it comes in a squishy bottle like this. If you can get the thing that has the blackbeard algae on it, get it out of the water, give it a few squishies, give it a minute or so, it'll start to turn red. You can put it back in the water at that point. That's pretty good. I found that if it's too thick and too bushy, even hydrogen peroxide won't do the trick. I have heard of some people having good luck with dosing the tank with hydrogen peroxide and then doing spot treatments with Excel. Never tried it. Never. So I can't say whether or not it has worked, but I've had great success with taking, like if you're doing a big water change, for instance, you do a big water change so some of the plants are poking out the water, squishing all the plants as they're out of the water, and then as you refill, that seems to do good. But I had a video a while back. It just got so bad in my display tank because I was getting distracted by other things that nothing I was doing was making the blindest bit of difference. Ultimately, you have to find out what is causing the imbalance in your tank. But sometimes even when you find out what's causing the imbalance, you're too far gone to be able to correct it just by correcting the imbalance. So you have to have some kind of hammer and then correct the imbalance at the same time so as it doesn't come back. And the hammer, in my opinion, is the flying silver fox. A great fish. I mean, don't just buy them to do that one job unless you think they're a great fish as well. I really liked them. I thought they were cool looking fish. They were compatible. They did a job I wanted, but they also looked good. You have to think, once they've got rid of all this blackbeard algae, which they will do in a matter of weeks, what they're going to eat next, so you need to be able to feed them properly and all that, but that's where we got to. The fish vet, we were just talking about you, albeit briefly. Hope we're all well and the beers are being kind. I'm almost 2 down, and then I'm moving on to the 8% ones, so wish me luck. If you need pictures of animals that are non-fish, I got you, bro, I got you. Nah, I think we'll stick to fish. But feel free to post your non-fish pictures as well. That's also fine. QC Aquaholics, I just saw that comment. Did I miss the JCVD conversation? We haven't had one this week. Well, I'm always happy to talk about Jean-Claude. Time and low nutrient. Well, that's also of it. See, I always listen to Rebecca. Don't listen to me. Time and low nutrients. I found over the years aquariums have developed it. It does go with time. Yeah. She's not wrong. She's not wrong, folks. I find that sometimes if you get into such a state, the time that you need is a long time. Why did you have to bring charity into it after I was making dirty jokes? Right, I'm obviously miles behind. Right, let's see if we can skip on a little bit and catch up. Scott's on the ball here, getting rid of all the dirty messages. from 69mega.com. Why are they so blatant anyway? Joe Coffey's in. Hello. How are the Corys doing? The Corys are doing really well, actually. I was right. I thought they would look cool in that tank, and they do indeed look cool. I was a bit worried about, so for those of you who don't know, Lily, one of my subscribers, who's often on the stream tonight, if you're here tonight, say hello, Lily. I met up with her last week, was it? She gave me a few of her black Corridorus, so Corridorus Schultzei Black, and stuck them in that IKEA tank that I built from scratch. I also put them in with my dwarf neon rainbow tetras. I was a bit worried that they'd be a bit busy and they might start getting a bit peckish, a little bit annoying for the Corys. But yeah, the rainbows have kept to the top, the Corys have kept to the bottom, and so far, touch wood, so far they're doing fine. Pardon me. They're probably more brown than black, is my one observation so far. I don't know if is that something I'm doing, or is that just the case? Everything that I've read about them is, oh yeah, as they're younger, they're a bit more brown, and they get darker as they get older, so maybe they're just a bit younger. But really cool. Really enjoying the way that, I mean, I've always thought Corys are pretty cool. They're just weird. They're just weird little fish. They don't seem to fit into any one category. They do their own thing. And I've always thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really happy with them. They seem to be doing well. I can't say more than that at the moment. Fresh for water, I love my coolies. Is that a new spelling of coolie loach? I have 5 reds and clowns. Let me think about that. I have 5 reds and clown loaches. They do great, although I don't see them very often, which I've heard is a trend. With coolie loaches, yes, it can't be. There you go, coolies. Coolio. Coolie loach is a butchering of a name. Pangeo coolie is a species not seen in this trade. I all ended up having the same name, coolie loach. Coolie is actually someone they were named after. I remember we talked about this because I asked that very question on the stream and we googled it together. I like Corridorus. People butcher it. Corridora isn't a word. It has no singular or plural. I know, it's one of my favourite things to say because I know it upsets so many people. Corys. It's not a Cory, it's a Corridorus. You can't get a Corridora. It's just like you don't get a Disca. You get a Discus. It's a Corridorus. But I think we do get, I mean, you'll probably agree with me here, I think we do get bogged down a little bit with the naming conventions. Sometimes it matters, especially with the Latin. I mean, Latin's just stupid. Look. Fight me on this one. Latin is stupid. In this day and age, why are we still using Latin? We can use normal English language to describe most of the things we need to describe. Why do we have to go back to Latin to describe genus and things like that? So I'm not down with that. And it's not just because I can't pronounce most of these things. If you're new here, one of the favourite games we like to play is Graham trying to pronounce things. So it's not just that. We don't need to use Latin. We may as well use Spanish, French, Italian, English, any other language. There's no reason to use that dead language. But names do matter, and if you're doing a scientific description of a thing, you shouldn't be applying colloquial shortenings of said thing. So I'm kind of in both camps. I'm sitting on the fence. Don't get me started on the drama of the word pleco. Yeah, pleco. You know, plecos that cover all things that are not plecos sometimes. Pangaea loaches are very rare, but still laying around under rocks somewhere. Yeah, they're not that rare at all. There's thousands upon thousands of them, just no one has ever seen them. See, she's back at it. Pangeo, I don't know how I should be saying that. I'm going to go with Pangeo. Pangeo semicintra is the common species, but I see the giant Pangeo myself more common. Avoid Pangeo Cuneo vergata, as they are too small and will always end up in the filter. Super cichlids are nothing to do with the nothing compared to the ultra cichlids. Joe, another place for me to plug my OnlyFans page. You know what? If that's your thing, go for it. No judgment here. Oh, done. Yep. So, La Chuff. It's probably La Chuffe. Or Duvel. Cast your vote now. Interestingly, 2 different beers, exact same bottle. Conspiracy. I think I want to leave Duvel to last. So it's the strongest. So I'll probably fall down more with that one. I love these live streams, learning about fish and beer. That's all about education. I can tick that education box in my YouTube videos. You say rubber, little pinprick. You should ask the kick. Oh, someone ban freshwater ichthyology. Do you know what? One thing I have not been short of with Megatank is advice. One thing I have been short of is useful advice. The most useful advice I've had. Well, let's talk about some of the advice that I've had from Megatank. I've gone for Le Chuff, so don't bother voting if you already started. Oh, it's a fizzy one. It splatters all over me. Wow, look at that. That could have been my belly. But no, I have learned. I've learned the ways of the... Oh dear, it's going to flow over. I've advice to... It's leaking because you haven't sanded the rubber between the glass and the frame. It's leaking because you have sanded the rubber between the glass and the frame. It's leaking because you have used the wrong type of silicon. It's leaking because you've used silicon. It's leaking because you haven't used enough silicon. It's leaking because you've used too much silicon. That's like 0.5% of the advice that I've had on Megatank. It's like some people, I mean, I appreciate all of it, and some I look in almost every comment and go, is that just bollocks from some idiot, or is that useful advice? Because I've had lots of useful advice. Some useful advice I've completely ignored, or got wrong. Like David, who's probably watching this now, told me to use a pond liner, and that was something I kind of half thought about in my back of my head. I'll just get some pond liner and wrap that round and silicone it in. But I didn't realise it needed to be butyl pond liner rather than just any other type of pond liner, which is about to show itself in the new series that you'll see coming out in Aquarium Adventures, things that don't stick to silicone. But so that's me misinterpreting someone's good, well-intentioned advice. But the amount of absolute shit, it doesn't even make sense. Some of it's barely literate. Why am I talking about this? Oh, you should ask the king of DIY for rice. He would have probably given me some decent advice. As much as we've had crossed paths in the world, crossed words. Oh, I've lost the power of speech. As much as we have as much as we've disagreed about things, he has actually done this sort of thing before many times, so that would have been quite useful. I know what he'd have said. He'd have said, no, get Pond Shield, get Pond Armour, and that was one of the specific things, was I wanted to do it without using Pond Shield, because it's ridiculously expensive. This was meant to be a budget build, even though it's ended up, you saw the video, it's cost me a couple of grand's worth of my hard-earned shekels. But if I can get it right, if I can get it to not leak, which is a kind of basic requirement for a fish tank, just using the liquid rubber, that's a big win in my book. It's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to have to employ something else. Like I say, it's looking better, but until it's actually held water for a good few months in a row without leaking, whatever I say now is completely useless. It's not worth it. But yes, I'm looking forward to making the video of, behold, my fish tank, ain't it enormous, and ain't it full of big massive fish. Look forward to that update. Me too, Kaylee, me too. Jim says, Christine is too lazy to log in and say hello, but she watches and likes every video. I am appreciative of every view, whether or not you can be bothered to log in and say hello. Christine has logged in many videos and told me hello from very far away, so I appreciate that. Lily, I told you she might be here. The Miffed Matalo, which is not a cat, it's a pirate, no? Sailor. Similar. Sorry for the tardiness, had to treat my shrimp tank for planaria. Oh dear. Much darker, younger, right? So we're back on the Corydorus. So they get lighter as they get older, more brown as they get older, right? Well, I knew it was something along those lines. Zen Ginger's working on tanks of periodically wet hands but lurking and listening. That's fine. I want to get me some damn discus. I mean, you can't go wrong with discus. I refuse to be told otherwise. They are the kings of the freshwater hobby. You do a discus tank right, you'll never not keep discus. That's my opinion. Anyway, I've let it settle. See, now we're back to like a normal. And I'm not going to be burping and farting. Apologies for my crudeness. But I'm soon to be drunk. Oh, that's dangerously nice. What one's this again? This is the Chuff. La Chuff. Celebrating 40 years. Belgian blonde. See, the blondes. I like a blonde beer. It doesn't say anything special about it. %, though. My God. It's going to end in tears. American! There's no such language. Latin is, but scientific names don't use Latin as much anymore. Really? No one knows how the Romans spoke, nor the Greeks. Say it how you feel. People's names are different, I think. You're just saying that to make me feel better. Latin is global, so easier for see, I don't like this argument. I'm going to have to disagree, Simon. Latin is not global. Latin is no more global than Spanish or Italian or English. And most of those languages are spoken more places than Latin was ever spoken. Latin was just the first well-documented language or written language, or those things aren't true. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm having trouble to get those thoughts to come out of my mouth in a rational manner. Latin was the first... what am I trying to say? Kind of recognised language. Recorded, reported on... Reported on? That doesn't make any sense. Proper language, shall we say, that was used by different people in different areas. Mickey, just having a look in the mobile for tank pictures to submit. I take too many pictures of tanks. Take a few extras. Duvel, no, I'm saving that for last because maybe I'll fall down after I've had that. You've had that one. Oh, so that must be... It is a Belgian one, I'm sure. Yeah, Belgian strong blonde. Many scientific names don't use Latin. Greek is commonly used, but every language likely has a name after them. True. Cute bottles. I know, it's a conspiracy that they're identical. Nice to see you, Sandy. How you doing? Theropod dinosaurs, where many are found in China, have scientific names based on Latinized Mandarin and I assume Cantonese. Yeah, and this is either going to show me up to be an idiot or a genius. Or should I just be quiet? No. The thing about sticking an eye on the end of something, where does that come from? So, greatest rainbow is Blairy Eye. So, Heiko discovers a fish, calls it after himself, but sticks an eye on the end of his name. What's that all about? I don't get it. And where's it gone? Oh, someone's done a thing. Ray C has become a member. Thank you, Ray C. For all of you that want to... Let's try and say this coherently. Oh, I have an update for you. So those of you in the UK or very close to the UK, you can buy my fish food, you can buy my merch, you can buy my stuff, and that's all great. Fish food is going to have to go up. So I'm pretty sure I should really have already done it, but let's say until the end of November, the prices are going to remain the same, and then 1st of December onwards, I may change those dates. The prices are going to have to go up, and it's a fairly significant jump. So I've done a recent order of some foods, and all of them have kind of gone up 20 or 30%. I'm a bit like, ugh, I can't eat that. I'm not wanting to put them up 20 or 30%, but if I sell them at the current prices, I'm basically paying you to take fish food. That doesn't work. So I'm going to have to put up a small increase, maybe between 5 and 10%, something like that. So I'm thinking about changing the membership offer. If you want to join the channel, one of the options you have to join is you can join as a hero member, and you get 10% off anything that you buy at aquariumadventures.co.uk, where I can peddle my wares. I'm thinking of changing that to be, right, if you join, that's you're spending extra money there. I might change that to 20% off or 15%. So I'm still trying to do the maths to figure out how that works out. I'm not going to change the membership price, so the membership price is the membership price. That's going to stay the same, but I'm going to change the discount to make sure that members get a discount that rewards you properly and keeps the prices low for any food that you might want to buy. If you want to just join as a member, there's another tier where it's less money, and that's just, I'm supporting this channel. That's fine, that's all great. But if you not interested in any of those things, and you are interested in trying some of my fish foods, get it in the next couple of weeks, because the prices are going to go up. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Why did I go on to that? Why am I talking about this? Oh, I can't remember. Use felt tax. What for? So far behind. It's leaking because it's got a leak. That's very true, Scott. Right, now I know where I am. We're talking about the mega tank again. If all else fails, plenty of wood for the fire in these tough times. Yes, there is. 240 gallon only here in the US is $2,500. What's 240 gallons? Google, what is 240 gallons in real money? The proper unit of measurement. That's only 1,000 litres. Mega tank's going to be 2 and a bit times that. $2,500. That's a lot of money. It'll be an end of an era when it's complete. It won't, because it'll break at some point, and then everyone can laugh at me again. Got all sorts of fancy beers there. I'm just kicking it with the champagne of what's the champagne? Champagne of beers. It doesn't taste great, but it does the job. See, that's what we want to get away from. Therein alcoholism lies. You want to get into enjoying your beers, he says as he's about to fall off a chair. So a 3 out of 3 on the beer so far. What's finally going right? Yeah, maybe it is just get them as strong as anything and you finally won't care. That is ridiculously easy to drink. Latin is a way for the... Oh, where'd it go? Latin's a way for the information to keep the information from the uneducated people. I have heard that one before. Latin, first of nothing, but possibly the most widely spread official judicial language of classical times. Okay. But is it first of nothing? Or is it the first official judicial language? Well, maybe not the first, but yeah, the one that stuck. I think I saw a comment there about history is written by the winners, so in the world of languages, Latin was the winner because that's the one that stuck around, but yeah, there were others. Ray has become a member. Welcome to the Adventurers. Thank you, Ray. I'd love to be able to tell you that you're going to get access now to loads of extra content, but it's very few and far between if I'm completely honest. But nevertheless, thank you. Martin, so Latin was never used as a conversive language, but most Western languages have their basis in Latin. So basic Latin is very useful for learning languages. Advanced, you just want to be a politician. Well, okay. Bear in mind I've had a few beers. I kind of wholeheartedly agree with that. The point I was trying to make was it's like computer languages. No, that's going to make me sound like a complete geek. It's like anything. An argument that something was based in something isn't an argument to stick with the thing it was based on. The reason we even say phrases like, well, it was based on this, is because we made it better, and now it's based on this. And now it's involved into this, and now it's this, and now it's this. So why would we ever need to go all the way back to that? Because we took that, we agreed it was a good start, it had flaws, so we made it a little bit better, and then a little bit better, and then a little bit better, and then we got something good. That's my argument with Latin. It's not that I'd want to dismiss any validity or discussion or We should never have had Latin. It was nonsense. We shouldn't have it now. We've got better. We have better things now. Does that make sense? I don't know. It makes sense to me. I'm probably not. Oh, that's a big explosion. Probably not explaining it right. Get them quick, yes. As all your aquariumadventures.co.uk. Get your fish foods in quick. I wouldn't say English has a basis in Latin. It's a hybrid of everything. Yeah, but you're right. So I would have said, so there are things called the Latin languages. So things that are Latin languages, that they have their basis in Latin, doesn't mean that they can't then be influenced by French or Spanish or whatever. English has loads of French words in it, or loads of French inspired words from it. Far more than any of the other European languages have influences from non-native languages. Oh, God. I know what I'm trying to say, and it's so hard to speak words in the proper order. So, Spanish doesn't have as many French-inspired words as English has French-inspired words, and things of that ilk. That's what I'm trying to say. And isn't English one of the hardest languages to learn because it's not got things like... So, I saw something here. Where did I see it? The I on the end probably denotes genitive case, or also the blurry I. Yeah, but what does that even mean? It probably denotes genitive case or some other case. Why do we need a case? And I guess this is similar to what I was talking about, the whole... English is a hard language to learn because there are... The same word can have 7 different meanings, which we as English speakers argue is what makes French difficult to learn because it has all these different genders, whereas we just have, oh yeah, that word, that means 17 different things. You just have to take the context and then you figure out what it is. But Latin is taught in certain schools. Is it? Who? What and why? Is this just these... Is it the private schools that think it's useful? Latin used to be taught in comprehensive schools. It used to be taught in private, public... Oh God, this is one of the annoying things about living in Britain. A private school... A public school is more exclusive than a private school. But I'm old enough to remember when people at similar schools were learning Latin at public schools. Private schools. Comprehensive. It's not... It's a dead language that's, in my opinion, being artificially propped up by people who are making more and more stretched cases to keep it going. Latin is taught in certain schools. Those that charge a lot, yes. If you go to Eton, I'm pretty sure you're forced to take Latin. My sister studies the classics, but and therein lies, if you did want to study the classics to any elevated degree, you would probably have to have a good grounding Latin, if not no Latin. And that's often an argument that's made. But the classics have been translated into plain old English many times, and even had all the... Well, and the Latin says this, which could mean that or that. That's fine. Yeah, things were written in hieroglyphics, which we've now translated. We don't send people to school to learn hieroglyphics so as they can... I need to know the tone of what they were trying to say by the original language. No. Man, cow, spear, eat. That's all you need to know. Yes, £2.5 is a lot. So with Megatank, you're still winning. Yeah, but it's definitely. I haven't spent more money on it. I've just given up on it for a longer time. Have you considered changing the name to Megatank? Megatankai. I didn't see that on the end there. That's quite a good one. My brain and my body enjoy the beer much more than my mouth. That's a very eloquent way of putting it, Joe. It is quite presumptuous to believe that because we use them now that modern languages are better. Is it? I don't know that it is. I think that no, that's the whole point of evolution. It's the whole point of parents hating their kids' music and kids loving that music, and then it's language evolving. It's language. It's like why are we adding new words to the dictionary? Because we're making it better. Just because people are getting pissed off with the new words that we're adding to the dictionary, just because people are inventing new types of music that the old people don't like anymore and saying, oh, it's not as good in my day. It is evolution. It's distinctly because it's better. It can't be anything else. It can't be a deterioration, because if it was a deterioration, it would be devolving into multiple languages rather than making that language better, stronger, more specific, more accurate. I get where you're coming from to say that it is quite arrogant to say, well, why would I need to, no, I'm not going to learn what to do, no, old rubbish nonsense now. What we've got now is brilliant. What was it I was talking about? Someone said no cap to me recently, and I had to go, I don't know what that means. Oh, have I reached an age where now I'm not down with the young folk lingo? I then went and found out what it meant and thought, there's no reason for that phrase to exist. That's a silly phrase. But that doesn't mean that my phrase is better. So no cap, I'm given to understand, means no bullshit, not lying. I don't understand where it came from or why that's the word or the sounds or the vowels that go together to make that thing mean that thing. But it is, and everyone understands that now, or everyone is bringing that into common parlance. Just because I already had a phrase for that doesn't mean that my phrase was better than their phrase. It's more of an evolution thing. So maybe I was wrong to present it as we don't need that because we've got this. It's more of an evolutionary thing to say things change generally for the better. So we should stop harping back to those things because we've got these things. And if the newer people who are formulating this language are over here, why are we sticking everyone else back here? Just move everything. We've got a word here that says brown fish with stripy pectoral fin. Why do we need... We can't say that. You have to go back here and say this. English needs some work still. Follow this rule except for this and that. Oh, you're not wrong. Yeah. Just what I think makes English one of the hardest languages to learn if you're not a native English speaker. Languages evolve to become easier and more... Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Easier and more accessible. Does that make them better? Fair point, well made. Not necessarily. Easier and more accessible, and I would argue that it does make it better, but I can see why that's not necessarily making it better. But it's definitely an evolution. This one's proving impossible to open. There we go. Whew. Right, I believe we've been talking nonsense for a good long time. Am I even still? Yes, I am. Are we filming? There we go. Look at that. A fish question. Any tips for getting aquarium plants to grow in rather hard water? I'm on well water and my plants seem to be suffering. Oh, look at this one. This is a fizzy boy. I have found my plants don't really care about the hardness of the water. I found plants care more about having the appropriate nutrients available. So it depends what the kind of plants it is. If it's stem plants or plants that feed off the water column, making sure you have enough nutrients in the water. So iron was always mine. So I'm not saying that this is going to be your problem, but my water conditions seem to provide an iron deficiency, and adding iron made my plants go from growing like this to going poof. Rooted plants, a good root tab versus either no root tab or a bad root tab, again from this to this. And CO2, another one, again this to this. So it's more about finding out what it is that your plants are struggling with. So in fact, I think I might have a good thing that I can show you. There was a really good picture. It's not my picture, someone else made it. It was where would it be? It showed all the kind of plant deficiencies and the things that you could see in the leaves of the plants that would show you where your problem areas might be. Microserver, is it that? No. Bum 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 bum. Bear with me. I think that'd be quite easy to find. Oh, maybe it's even on my website. That would be embarrassing if it was. So let's have a look and see. Aquarium Adventures.co.uk. There you go. That's what it looks like. This aquarium plant deficiencies. So again, it's not my picture. I reached out to this person who produced this picture to say, oh, that's brilliant, that. If you find out what the deficiency is, it's so much easier to get. And it's not even, it's like night and day. It's rapid growth. So if you just go and have a look at this. If you experience any of these things, then that's what your deficiency is, or your excess potentially. It can help you dial in what your problems are. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I've never noticed hard water being a barrier to keeping good plants. Craig's Catfish Cave. Good morning, all. Good morning, Craig. Oh, it's a frothy boy. Sorry. Pint of froth, anyone? Using genitive case is much easier than adding the word of or inventing the participle apostrophe s. Yeah, I can give that. Scientific names have feminine, neutral and masculine. English doesn't, but many languages do. I think we used to, but we lost it. Because it was pointless, says me. Sorry. If everyone would just speak Swedish, everything would be so much better in the world. Yes, Billy Hacksfad, IKEA. Indeed. I watched a program about that. You know, we were talking about this a few weeks ago about, IKEA, the names of all the stuff in IKEA. Why is it that? The guy, whose name I've instantly forgotten, it was brilliant. It was like a cataloguing system. So everything that was someone's name was like a bedroom thing. Everything that was an object was a kitchen thing. Everything that was and it was all done like that, so he didn't have to remember catalogue numbers and catalogue items. It was brilliant. Right. Did he just say that new music is better than the last generation, which is better than the previous? No, I'm saying that's what people say. The reverse of that is that older music is always better because you always get to an age where you think you were the one that was in charge of the best music. So when new music comes out, you go, no, that's not as good as that. And then eventually you get old enough and you go, oh, the Beatles were quite good, I suppose. If you think Latin is hard to master, you won't want to live in the Black Country. I'm from Dudley. Language evolves, but I do like the history of words or lost in translation. Unicorn is the same word for giraffe in Chinese and Japanese, and it looks the same. And it looks like they're... Indeed. And this kind of proves my point as well as disproves my point. There is an evolution within language. Things change, things move around, things get translated and retranslated and put back into the same language again sometimes. I can think of 0 examples right now because, quite frankly, I can barely think. But that's my whole point, is that things evolve, and by refusing to accept the evolution and sticking to the old convention, it's not necessarily that it's better, but it is usually better. But whether it's better or not, it's already moved. Most people are over here. You're alienating most people by sticking to this. I think that's what the point was. Did they not break the dictionary definition of literally? Did you know that gullible isn't in the dictionary? Right, this one is refusing to settle down. The Duval didn't have any of it. Duval. Massive heat. Refusing to settle. Dan the Fish Nerd, I joined in the Weird Beers tonight. The ones I chose were all a bit hideous apart from Duff Beer. Welcome to Weird Beers. Almost all of mine have been hideous. Until tonight. Seem to have done quite well tonight. Not going to lie, some of that went down my front. The problem with the English language is that half of it is pronounced wrong and the other half is spelt wrong. You're not wrong. I'll tell you a story about my... So I live in Sheffield now. Chris Hartley, if you're watching, this is your favourite story. And when I first moved to Sheffield, I lived in a place called Ecclesall Road, which was where all the students lived. It's like the trendy area, the bars and cafes and all that kind of stuff. But I had a job. I was working in the city centre, in the city hall, no less. And I used to have to get a bus from top of it. If I didn't drive or bike or whatever, I had to get a bus. I had to get a bus from the top of Ecclesall Road into the Sheffield city centre. And the way you got on that bus, you would ask for a ticket to the Moor. Because there's an area of Sheffield in the city centre called the Moor. I'm saying Moor because that's how it's spelt and pronounced. If you're from Sheffield, you say the Moor. The word is spelt M-O-O-R. So I got on the bus and said, can I have one to the Moor, please? And he said, do you mean the Moor? I said, no, I mean the Moor. He went, it's called the Moor. I was like, it's not, it's called the Moor. Well, we call it the Moor. I says, what noise do cows make? And he said, moo. So stick an R on the end of that, what have you got? get off my bus. The lesson here is I had to walk to work that night and I was an hour late. So we are a nation divided by 100 accents. There's often the case made that America and Britain, they're nations divided by a common language. Britain is a nation divided by 100 accents. In what world does M-O-O-R not spell moor? It's not more. M-O-R-E is more. So I'm going to get all upset about this again. So I shall now read some more comments and drink my extremely strong beer. Which is not as nice as the other one. I much prefer Le Chuff than Devel. I mean, it's not bad. It's quite nice. It's almost no smell. Almost no aftertaste, but not quite as fresh and crisp as the Chuffy one. Regional accents, and what about American English? I do like now that, I think is it Windows 11 or maybe Windows 10 that they brought out English UK as a language option and English simplified, which was the American English. Oh, and languages like Cornish, yeah, now dead unless you live in Cornwall and they still bloody speak it. Obviously The Weeknd is better than Guns N' Roses, who are better than Led Zeppelin. So you're going to make me argue with myself now. So there are three bands that I quite like. I'm perfectly happy to listen to The Weeknd, as I'm perfectly happy to listen to Guns N' Roses, and I'm perfectly happy to listen to Led Zeppelin. None of whom would exist without the previous one. That doesn't mean that the latest one is the best. But we don't need to keep making Led Zeppelin records because we've already got Led Zeppelin. It would make Led Zeppelin worse if they were still making records now. Yeah, it's not a direct translation because Led Zeppelin are really good. But for languages, I'm right. I'm not native Cornish, but I've lived in Cornwall all my life. There's still a few people that speak it, mostly. Yeah, it's the same as like Gaelic and things like that. It still exists in little pockets, doesn't it? Do you want to dig out a YouTube clip of the Latin scenes from Monty Python's Life of Brian? What did the Romans ever do for us? Oh, there you go. What did the Romans ever do for us? Dear. Right, we've got 20 minutes left. It'll probably take me 20 minutes to get to the end, but should you have any actual questions for me, ask them quick, and I'll hopefully get to them before the end of the show. Whatever this is. Disconcerting head on this. It's like an iceberg. It floats. The hard water makes carbon dioxide hard for the plants to access. Ah, right. That might be a hard water problem. As soon as I started mixing my hard water with RO water, everything started to grow well. That makes sense. It's something I hadn't considered. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for taking the time to log in. Water softeners also increases salt from memory, so mess with hard measures such as pH. Avoid. It can cause issues for many fishes. I personally wouldn't drink it even. Okay. I can still see the spam comments. You found a girl for me. Oh, Scott hid it, so now I'll never know. Soft water is why MD fish tanks can grow everything. Well, I've got quite soft water here as well. Why is the word gullible written on your ceiling? I'm expected to look up now, aren't I? Come on. I may be pissed, but come on. Moor is more. No, it isn't. Come on. No, I'm not having this. Moors. The Moors invaded Spain. Yes, not the Moors. Moor. What noise does a cow make? Moo. Put an arrow on the end. What do you get? Moo. Moor. Not more. I would like more of that. I'd like more of that. No. Sorry, that tickled me, that one did. Clark's mini fish room. When drunk, I can't smell or taste either. Moor. English. I go up north and struggle, but also Bristol. Not tested the Welsh yet. Oh, the Welsh. Oh, don't even get involved with the Welsh. I don't mean they're nice enough and all, but yeah, they have like extra vowels and stuff. Oh, it's mental. Fish question alert. I moved a discus pair that were laying in the main tank to a breeder and they haven't done it again. Any ideas to trigger them? Aquarium Adventures. Thank you, Evan, for your question. I would go with a large water change. A large water change that changes the temperature significantly, like 2 or 3 degrees. That's kind of the go-to way of doing it. Other than that, it's just time. So moving discus. I used to say discus are the most precious melodramatic fish I've ever known until I owned Oscars. Oscars are the most melodramatic fish I've ever known. But discus will take a bit of a like, oh my god, I can't believe you moved me to this new tank. I'm going to huff for a month. And that's it. You're not getting anything out of them. Pardon me. They will eventually settle down. But a good thing to do is keep an eye on the weather, because pressure differences. So if you've got a barometer in your fish room, because don't we all? If you see a big swing in that will likely trigger a spawn, in my experience. And if you want to try and trigger a spawn, like make a manufactured spawn, lots of live foods, lots of frozen foods, lots of good foods, and a large water change. That's my go-to on it. Yeah, it depends what you class as north. When you get in the north, my area, different towns speak different. Yeah, I live in Sheffield, and people keep saying to me I'm a northerner. And I'm like, well, I am a northerner because I'm from Glasgow. All these people that live here are all southerners to me. It depends where you start. So when are we all going to start speaking Esperanto? Yes, we just should have one language and then just be done with it, shouldn't we? Oh, that's some actual Esperanto in there. I'm not going to try and say that. It's going to be worse than my Latin attempts. Caim ni cuj comensos paroli Esperante. North of London, Birmingham's deep. No, surely you have to get to Watford at least to. I suppose that is north of London, yeah. I did not check the ceiling. I've deliberately not checked the ceiling. I defy anyone to show me a clip of me looking up since when Joe made that comment, other than now, just to confirm. I had an argument once with someone how to say cooking oil. Cooking oil. Oil. That's a Sheffield thing as well. They don't say oil here. They say oil means whole. One of my first memories of moving to Sheffield was I needed some cash. And I said to somebody who was on my shift, where can I get some cash? Is there a cash machine around here? And he turned around and he said, oh, everybody, Graham's looking for oil in wall. I went, Graham was most definitely not looking for oil in wall. But that meant the hole in the wall, and the hole in the wall was the cash machine. Another one was put door in oil. I'm like, imagine if I was just taking all these requests literally. You want me to take a door and dunk it in some oil? No. Oh, put wood in oil. That was it. Put wood in oil. That means shut the door. Put wood in oil. So put wood, door, in oil, hole. Put the door in the hole. Shut the door. It's much easier just to say shut the door. Stuart, I consider Newquay to be up north. Scotland is north of the wall, doesn't count. That's not fair. I'm not having that. North of the wall, also the end of the wall, as I live in a place called Wall's End, which is actually the end of the Roman wall. Yeah, if it wasn't for us, you'd all be speaking Italian. That's what they taught us in school. The Romans invaded Britain, and the Scots fought them off. Not that they gave up. The Scots fought them off and said, oi, we'll have none of that round here. Beat it. What other? There's lots of other Sheffield sayings that just put wood in oil. That was my favourite one. In Yorkshire, we would say put wouldn't oil. Yeah, there you go. Confirmed. Everywhere else in the world, they'd say shut the door. Right, I'm going to launch into 5 minutes worth of buy my stuff, subscribe to my stuff, watch my stuff. This weekend, what have we got coming up? I've got to move the fish from the pond tomorrow. They're coming into the fish room. It's been cold the last couple of days. I've got that. I've got the fixing of Megatanki, as we might start calling it. They're the big jobs we've got to do. I've got to sort out the website, so the prices will be going up probably by the end of the month. If you join now as a hero adventurer, I will, at least for, am I too drunk to say this? If you join as a hero adventurer and any existing hero adventurers, 20% off anything at the website until the end of the year. That might drop to 15% next year, but I'm going to give you 20% until the end of the year. Before you buy, check on Discord and make sure that I've put up the new code that gives you the 20% off. But if you're not going to join, if you want to buy some food or try some of the food, do it now, because it's going to go up by the end of the month. Something else I wanted to talk about. I'm already forgetting everything I wanted to talk about. Who knows? Des Moines, or Des Moines in Iowa, has no alveolar fricative, but Des Plaines in Illinois, which omits the alveolar fricative, has two. What is the alveolar fricative? Des Moines, Des Plaines. Des Moines, Des Plaines. I feel like this is some kind of elaborate joke. Bringing the fish in. Sorry, this is the fish that are the goldfish in the pond out the back. I have a little pond out the back. It's not deep enough to survive the winter, so the temperatures, I wanted to bring them in kind of the end of October. Even before that, I wanted to bring them in even before that, but we had like not a heat wave, but a missing cold snap, and that's just happening now this weekend. So I wanted to bring them in before we got in too deep into the winter. I thought it'd be a cool video because we got to see them when we put them into the pond, how much have they grown just living in the pond, and see what they do over winter before they put them back out again. Speaking of food, I better get another beer. I have no more beers. I'm going to have to go to bed now. Look at my wonky glasses. This is because I smashed my face off a wall. Is that better? Still quite sore to touch. I don't feel like I've had enough sympathy. Really quite sore. You say close the door, I say stang døren. I might start saying that. Children, stang døren. Alveolar fricative. Sound unvoiced. Z sound. S sound unvoiced. Z sound voiced. Right, I'm going to have to go back. Hang on. Where was your last comment? So is it Des Moines and Des Plaines? Is that what it is? Des Moines, Des Plaines. Yeah, well, it's weird languages. That's why we don't need to worry about the old ones. Just concentrate on what we're trying to do in the new ones. Am I oversimplifying things? Probably. I'm from Canada. I heard the most common phrase a child will hear growing up is shut that door. Or shut the door. I'm from Scotland. That is the most common phrase I heard. It's the thing that made me realise I was turning into my dad. Hello, Dad, if you're watching. He often does. Well, usually at the first 10 minutes. You born in a barn? All that kind of stuff. I do daily checks in the morning. Every time I take all the kids to school, I come back to the house, I go around, turn all the lights off, shutting all the doors. Every day. Stanga døren it to boring kjollen fan. Kjollen. That's probably kjollen rather than kjollen. Murdered it, sorry. You languages, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell yeet means. Yeet means eat. Get rid of it. Right, we've got 5 minutes left. I don't think I can last 5 minutes. I think I'm going to pee myself. So if you have any further questions, ask them in the cold water aquatic stream. Scott will more than likely be putting a link to that in the chat any second now. But for me, I'm going to have to call it a day and say thank you for joining me and goodbye. Watch my videos. Bye.